So today for my project, I'm doing Bermuda grass, which is right there. You can see it. And I'm doing sheep. And you can see them out there. The reason I'm doing these is because our Bermuda grass feeds our sheep through the winter. Makes good hay for our sheep to eat. Sheep are used for three main things. There's one with horns. They're used for meat, which is what I use mine for, or milk, or wool. I don't have any wool sheep, so all of mine are used for meat. And the classification for sheep is they're in the Animalia kingdom. The phylum is Chordata. The class is Mammalia. The order is Artiodactyl, and the family is Bovide. And I'll breed these sheep will be bred this winter. Well, not this winter, late this fall. Then they'll start having babies. And I have two rams in here, and I don't know where they're at. It takes them about 5 to 5.5 months to have babies. We'll get the babies to about 50 pounds, and then we'll sell them at the sale barn. And these girls think that I have crackers and that I'm going to feed them, but I don't. Most of my sheep are slick-headed, except for this one and one other one. She has horns. Sheep were domesticated about 10,000 years ago, and they came from Europe and Asia. And a lot of people are getting sheep now because you can keep several on a small place. I have about 100 or so spread out wherever. Sheep are interesting. There's a baby over there. That one's too little to sell. And then we do Bermuda grass. Sheep don't eat the Bermuda grass a whole lot during the summertime, but they do like it during the wintertime when we bale it up into hay. We have a field that we'll bale about twice in the summer. We'll put fertilizer on it and then bale it. You can spread Bermuda grass several different ways. You can either broadcast spread it, which just means you take the seed and just throw it out, or you can drill it into the ground with a seed driller, or you can use sprigs, which I don't know a whole lot about, but ours was sprigged in, which means you take actual pieces of the grass and then you actually stick them into the ground with a machine. But we'll bale our Bermuda grass, then we'll feed it to the sheep in the wintertime. They like it a lot better baled up in hay than they do when they eat it to graze on. They'll nip the tops of it off. That's what it looks like now. They've nipped the tops of this off because the tops are tender and they like it. But they prefer certain type of weeds and clover. Here's some of my sheep that you can see that they're slick. This one, her hair's a little bit woolly, but not too bad. This one, she's got slick hair. And this one is actually biting me because she thinks I'm going to feed her something. Sheep love crackers, and I didn't bring any crackers with me, so that's not a good thing. Milk sheep, I don't know much about. Wool sheep, you just have to shear them once a year. Then they make clothes out of their wool. If you don't shear your wool sheep, then their wool will just keep growing and growing and growing. And that's not good. I have one over there. She keeps quite a bit of wool on her, but I don't ever shear her. She's got enough hair sheep blood in her that her wool never gets very thick. Sheep have lanolin in their wool, which is kind of oily, kind of greasy a little bit. The wool sheep have it worse than the hair sheep. You can pet these hair sheep, and sometimes your hands will kind of feel soft and a little bit pink, but not near like it is when you have wool sheep. And these are all my girls. And we'll feed them the hay in the wintertime from the Bermuda grass. And it has lots of nutrients in it that they need. Bermuda grass is kind of invasive. So a lot of people don't like it because it gets in your flower beds, it gets in your garden. Once you get it, it's really hard to get rid of. Like even in your pasture sometimes, if you don't want it, it's hard to kill out. But it does make good hay. and that's why we use it for our sheep. And that's really about all I have to say about my sheep, except I really like them and they're pretty interesting and they like to talk to me. And what I didn't tell you was the classification for Bermuda grass. Its scientific name is Cynodon dactylon. The genus is Cynodon. The family is Poaceae. The kingdom is plant, and the order is Poales. And I could have picked any other grass, but like this is fescue, but they like it pretty well, and it makes good hay, but not quite as good as Bermuda grass, I don't think. So I hope today you learned something about sheep and about Bermuda grass, and thank you.